Hello everyone, we are live. What a shocking turn of events. I did not turn on this light, so I'm dark as shit now. Well, no. You know what, let's keep it like that for now. Yeah, let me see what it looks like. Yeah, alright, I'm gonna keep it like this. Okay. What the hell, dark stream today. Alright, today I am officially doing game development, and I have officially picked Zed to be my editor of choice. I even have a theme. Isn't it beautiful? It's purple. Yeah, I forgot to mention that yesterday because everything was going to shit and um kind of ended the stream before I was planning on. It lasted like 2 hours because there was just a ridiculous bug that, by the way, I didn't fix. It's also not happening anymore. Um, anyway. Not gonna bother too much with themes or anything like that. Um, this theme though is something like cyberpunk something. Something cyberpunk. Cyberpunk something. I don't know. I'm just not gonna waste time customizing a damn code editor because it's literally just a code editor. But still, I have a bunch of themes, so if I want to, it's easy to do. I'm just not gonna waste hours and hours on that. But on the topic of wasting, actually, you know what? I'm gonna wait a little bit because the stream just started. There's not that many people, and I want to talk about this. What I posted in my Discord earlier today, but I'm gonna wait for there to be more people. Not really much of a point to do that right now. Okay. And who told you to make any of these changes? Alright, instead, I'm gonna say that, yeah, like I said, yesterday there was this random ass crash happening that stopped happening. I did make some changes, technically, and then I went to debug the crash, and then it wasn't happening anymore. Maybe it's still happening, who knows? It doesn't seem to be still happening. Also, another thing is when you did manage to launch an application, it didn't launch. Now it does. The reason for that is simple. Oh, there it is. There it fucking is. I'm gonna kill myself. I can't. I can't. You know what? Today I'm doing stuff outside of the operating system, so I'm just not gonna bother. I'm just not gonna bother. Let's not even address the allegations. All right, let's just, you know what? Goodbye, goodbye. All right. Yeah, so that bug is happening, and also applications weren't launching because there was no main function specified, essentially. Turns out even if you have a main function in your program, in reality, C applications start with the function underscore start. If you don't define that, which normally you don't because libc takes care of that, then the program doesn't know where to launch. So I had to make some changes to specify that, and now it works. Do you think I made a change to the make file? Oh, I did make this change, but hold on. Already up to date? No, the fuck you're not. God damn it. Why does this have a master branch? Oh wait, I never committed the change that I just undid on this computer. Cool. Alright, there he goes. I just gotta pull. There's actual changes to pull now. Alright. So today I'm going to be working on my game a little bit. I'm going to start a game because I haven't started it. I think I created a folder yesterday and then I didn't actually start the game. So it's just an empty folder. I'm going to be doing that. But the thing that I mentioned in Discord is... Let me find it. Alright. I created for the operating system, the one that we're not talking to right now, because we're angry at it, but whatever. I created this theme.config file, which opens in the damn text editor, but you know what, let's just open it here, please. Why is something so simple as drag and drop not work on Linux? It's really not that hard. Also, why is this window not going away? Is everything just broken now? Anyway, I created this file to customize the operating system. So the green background color, which by the way is one that I don't even like, but I've just kept it for whatever reason, is specified by this. Right, and you can change it. And you can run the system. And the background color will change. I'm actually gonna keep this one. I like it more. So, actually, the entire system is done like that. So, it's pretty much just one color right now. There's the background color that I specified there in the BG color of the config. There's this, which is a lighter version of that. There's this, which is an even lighter version of that. So it's this little border here and this border here. So I'm essentially using a very basic implementation of a color palette, which is just done by adding hexadecimals together. But I think it would be interesting to have this color palette, the config, specifically the theme parts of the config, because there's a bunch of other not important stuff in here, like the name of the operating system, default password, which isn't even used anymore, color of the cursor, the startup logo and all that stuff. But the things like the background color and any other customization options that I add later on, to make those available to userland applications as well. And that way, if they so wish, by default, their default look and feel is going to be cohesive with the rest of the system. So I thought of that when I was customizing Zed over here and I was using this theme. Then I opened the terminal and it has this ugly ass theme. This color is so ugly. I don't understand why they went with this ugly ass color. And then I looked into like, okay, how easy is it to customize it? And I'm sure it is easy-ish, but you probably need to download a bunch of configuration shit and whatnot. So I feel like it's probably a good idea to have a cohesive theme that is available to all applications on the system so that by default they all look, you know, somewhat cohesive. And 9 out of 10 people agree with me. One person said no. Um, but of
R.
course, I just want to point out the word default, which I have mentioned multiple times. Yeah, that's just the very basic implementation of it. Then, of course, if an app wants to change its look, it's allowed to do that because, yeah. But when you first launch an application, it should, or if it wants to, for that matter, it's completely optional, but it can make itself look like the background color. I think I'm gonna do that because I like the idea, of the very least, of exploring that idea. So that's what I'm gonna be doing on Friday. I just said I was gonna talk a little bit more about it on stream, so I'm doing that. But yeah, I feel like I'm gonna do that. It could also provide a standard way of customizing what an application looks like in the system. Obviously, different applications have different needs, but all of them have more or less the same thing. Like they all have a color palette of some sort. And for that matter, most people probably don't know this, but iOS already does what I'm saying, kind of, a little bit, in that it provides you with system colors, which is just white or dark mode default color. If you look at any application that's like on iOS, any basic application, like I don't know, the calendar or any built-in application, they all have more or less the same aesthetic, the same, not the same UI, but they have the same like color palettes and whatnot, because those are established system-wide. The difference is on iOS, you cannot customize it for the entire system, whereas I'm saying one that you can customize for the entire system. Although, funnily enough, that's a spoiler. Apple does kind of, like, it seems like they're kind of going the same way, but honestly, I'm not sure about that. All right, so that's what I'm going to be working on Friday, most likely. So yeah, we're going to be working a little bit on customization of the system and on making the entire system a little bit more cohesive and probably fixing that godforsaken bug, I guess, unless I fix it between here and Friday. I'm super excited about this, as you can tell. I just thought about the bug and it made me angry immediately. Because what the fuck? Why is it only happening on stream? I tested it like dozens of times earlier today and it didn't happen. I get on stream, I try it once and it crashes. Why are my neighbors always like, I don't know, throwing shit around when I'm streaming? Did you only test it on Mac? No, I tested it on Linux too. I specifically got on this computer to fix the bug before the stream. Well, a few hours ago, but yeah. And it didn't happen. Allergic to OBS? Well, OBS is pretty shit, not gonna lie to you. You don't know how difficult it is to start a stream nowadays. I had to restart it twice before I was able to see the chat. The chat wasn't working, it was just like constantly spinning, constantly loading. The ad manager as well sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. Sometimes OBS is like, whoa, you need to update your software. We can't stream like this. And then you restart your computer and it works without updating any software. Yeah, so OBS is great. Actually, I just remember now, I was trying to check if I have the latest version of OBS, and they have a What's New tab in the help section, which I'm clicking right now. I didn't have my browser open, so I was wondering if maybe I was trying to open something in the browser and it wasn't able to because the browser wasn't open, but no. That button does nothing. At the very least, it's not doing anything right now. Yep, nothing. Not a single thing. I've pressed that button 4 times, 5 times, and it just... There's nothing new in OBS. There just haven't been any updates, apparently. Yeah. It's great software. It's great, it's amazing. Alright. But the OBS Flatpak under Wayland is completely broken. Anytime you click a button that should open pop-up, it just completely freezes. Oh yeah, by the way, when you click most buttons, it doesn't work. Also, when I click most buttons in like the docked tabs that I have, so like, hold on, like this here in the chat or this button, it some of them work, some of them don't. It actually just completely messed up my layout by doing that. Amazing. All right, let's fix it. Yeah, so like those buttons don't really work. You have to pop out the little window, make it like a floating window, and then you can click the button. Otherwise, it doesn't work. I have mentioned several times that every single step of streaming is dominated by buggy ass shitty software. Twitch, YouTube, OBS. Funnily enough, every time I mention that I use Restream, people tell me that it's shit. It is by far the most stable and the only one that really just works. It's barely given me issues. I do have issues sometimes scheduling streams, but besides that, it's one bug as opposed to the dozens that all other streaming software has. So, bugs, design issues, just a lot of broken stuff all over the place. Yeah, so it's still buggy, mind you. So every step of the way is buggy. That comes from people using Windows because there's a multi-stream plugin that actually works. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can use it on Mac as well. Well, probably on Mac as well. I meant on Linux though. Couldn't care less though. Feel like that's just using more system resources for something that I can just get for free, so whatever. Okay, so today I'm actually starting this game. And yesterday I was playing RimWorld, which if you didn't see is a game that looks like this. I love that the first picture when you search RimWorld is just an entire colony on fire, which is how the average RimWorld game looks. Yesterday I went a little bit off the rails, but not super off the rails, so I'm kind of happy with how it went. I only lost half my colonists in the game. I'm gonna keep playing it probably on Wednesday. So I'm gonna lose the other half by then. But anyway, the point is the game looks like this, and I was thinking about it, and this kind of aesthetic might be easier for me to handle in a game engine from scratch for a system that has no 3D capabilities for the time being, and it will be a while before it has 3D capabilities. I have to get it to run on the Raspberry Pi. Then I have to get it to run on the Raspberry Pi with real hardware. Then I have to figure out the Raspberry Pi's GPU's shaders, and then I can do 3D accelerated hardware. At the same time though, most of the emulation that I do happens on a GPU that has no 3D acceleration. So I don't really have the option of doing 3D acceleration. I would have to make a software renderer as well. On top of that, on top of all of that, there is another GPU that I can use when I'm emulating onto this computer, and that one is just slower, but also its documentation is... it just forgets to finish at some point. It's just like, okay, here's all the 2D functionality that we have. By the way, we also have 3D functionality. Oh, you want us to explain it? Oh. Oh shit. Hmm. We weren't really planning on that. Yeah, so it has 3D functionality. It has a way to push 3D data onto the GPU to put it in GPU memory. And then I have no idea how to process it. There's no commands, no nothing to process it. At least in the documentation. So, isn't the Pi GPU using closed source binary blah? So someone a while ago sent me the video core GPU programming here, this thing, pretty sure. Also keep in mind that Linux probably has code for it. I can just copy what they're doing in the Mesa driver if I'm ever able to decipher what Linux is doing in any of its source code. It's hard to read. There's just a lot going on. The closed source binary is the bootloader, which runs on the GPU. But that's not the same as just shaders and whatnot. They have seen some shader stuff here. Now, one thing that did happen is the Raspberry Pi has apparently deprecated any way of talking to the GPU. So I have no idea how Linux is doing it, by the way. Linux is just like sending smoke signals, apparently, because they have deprecated it on the Pi 5. So I have like zero hope for the Pi 5. But if I get it to work on the Pi 4, on the Pi 4, that'll be something. But anyway, I'm not planning on doing 3D anytime soon. Everything I'm doing is 2D. So for the time being, I think it's gonna be useful to do some RimWorld style graphics. It's not my favorite. I wanted to do Project Zomboid type graphics, which is a much better aesthetic. Pi 5 is such a joke. Yes, it is. To remove the age. Seriously? They just deprecated a bunch of shit because like, oh, Linux doesn't need it anymore. But then like, why did you do any of that? Well, it's so dumb. Anyway, where did I end up? I've always struggled to find screenshots of Project Zomboid. This one's just full of blood. But anyway, you can see the aesthetic. It's a 2.5D, very similar to the Sims one, which I'm pretty sure they were directly inspired by. It could also be done entirely in 2D, for that matter. It's not like it requires 3D rendering capabilities, and even if it does, it's nothing particularly complicated. But maybe I'll start with something like this and then transition to something like this. I don't know. But today we're gonna go for something a little bit like this. That's what I'm planning on doing. Okay. So I can start by copying the make file from my ghost game into the hack project that I made. Okay, we have a make file now. Also initialize a Git repository. Oh, okay, it's Git on Ubuntu that keeps using the master branch. Usually it goes by main. Most Git's distributions have changed to using main, but I see that this one is not. Which is why my game engine uses master instead of main. The just created branch can get branch main. Okay, we're on main. Okay. Well, Z Cool thing about Z, you can actually open multiple projects at the same time. We have our cross-platform library, we have the operating system, we have the old game, which I'm gonna remove from the project. And I'm going to add... I can't find it. Isn't it here? I'm pretty sure it's here. Hack. Hello? Oh, this is recent. I thought it was in my home folder. Okay, that makes sense. There. Alright, which right now only has a makefile, which will do absolutely nothing. But it is capable of already running my game. If there was such a thing as a game. Actually, I am keeping the other game open real quick, because I do need to copy some stuff from it. Ideally, actually the main function is no, it's not, never mind. I was gonna say something that's not actually true. I was gonna say the main function is handled by the engine, but no it isn't. That actually would be kind of stupid. Okay, so I just create a file called main.c, and I can put this function here, which will just run the game with a target frame FPS of 60. I'll need to include detour.h, I believe. Oh, I'm just including the ECS. Okay. That, perhaps? Nope. Oh, it's literally just complaining because it's missing a package.info. Which is just another configuration file, but just for information about the project. About the thing, in order to run it on my system. Yeah, now I need to go through every single project and recompile it with cross-platform compatibility. Wait. There. The operating system. And write-xlib. I'm pretty sure this one's already going to be compiled for... There. At which point... Right, there's a bunch of stuff that I need to implement in order for my system to work. There's... Ooh, what the fuck is happening to my voice? There's this for running some manual logic, which I'm just going to do that with it and that, and then include my UI drawing library, which is being used to clear the screen and whatnot. I fear I might have gone too far with some of the stuff that I ported, because room size is a variable that should not be in the engine. So I might have messed up. Let's see, ECS core room size. Yeah, this function should not be here. This function should be in the game itself. And so the extern declaration of the room size, which was in the engine, doesn't need to be here anymore. It is a 2D engine still, so the whole camera scale, all of that stuff can stay. But it doesn't need to be in the engine anymore, and we'll just recompile it. Are you serious? You're still using it? I'm not sure what. What is room size being used for? Is this the only reference there is to it? In Detour, yes. Yeah, this shouldn't be room size. Okay, I think that shouldn't be room size. That should be camera size. If I'm not mistaken. Wait. Shit. Nope. Okay. Okay. Hold on. I think the name room size is misleading. But this variable should stay. Okay, so I thought, yeah, room size didn't make sense. Because that's referencing the rooms in my previous game, but that's actually not the size of a room, it's just the size of what's visible on the screen, so we can keep it. I think, for the time being. Let me not make changes to the game that I shouldn't be making right now. Let me not just blindly make changes to this. And bring this back. Okay. So that means these variables, I need to declare, no, this one's already declared. I need to declare these two variables inside my game. I'm doing nothing with right now, but I do need them. I need to include math vector.h in order to have access to this vector2 thing. And then register systems, create entities, render system. No, a renderable list. All right, I need to declare these things. Register systems. I'm pretty sure I put in a different file here. Next, create entities. Another Boolean function. And a renderable list. What the fuck is a renderable list? God, why is copying so difficult in this damn system? It's not here. Not here. Who's declaring the renderable list? Oh, wait, renderable. Without the list part. That's part of a macro. It's right here. What do you mean you can't find? Oh, I need to implement it. Right. Right. Okay. That worked. And it does nothing, but it does work. All right. So, now that that compiles, I can bear dash dash make me and have some compile commands.json file, which can I get ignore from here? No. Can I get ignore from here? Yes. Why is this being... Well, actually, you know what? There. Full get ignore right there. Okay, now it seems to not have any issues. It looks good. All right. So the game engine is an ECS game engine. Currently, it's set up to have all of its entities created kind of at setup time, not really at runtime. What is happening to my camera? I feel like it's cycling through colors. I guess because I don't have this light on. Yeah, I'll fix it by the time there's an ad. Yeah, I'll take a break. All right, yeah. The engine technically does not need to use ECS and it does not need to work in this way, but I have a lot of stuff already built in that manner, and I also prefer to work with ECS, so that's the way that it is set up. And you just call run game and implement these functions, and these are good enough to get your system to run. Now I'm just gonna, well, I can just minimize it for the time being. I'll keep it. I have some basic AI capabilities. I have some basic pathfinding even. Some that's it pretty much. AI like game AI. That's not the shit kind. Yeah, some basic collision capabilities, sprite rendering. So it should be possible to get a very basic, you know, game looking like this. ChatGPT controlled NPCs. God, no. Please, let's not. That's why I call the file brain, and I call this entire section brain instead of AI. Also, free will. I don't have to call it AI if I don't want to. But to be completely clear, this is much closer to actual artificial intelligence than ChatGPT ever will be. Not because it's particularly well done, just because NPCs are, you know, closer to what an artificial intelligence is than a chatbot. Okay. So, I've kind of forgotten how to work with this engine. One big limitation that it has is that I declare a bunch of components for the ECS here. For example, like human brain, activity queue for the human. These are the AI ones. Sorry, the brain ones. Some basic systems for, are these here actually? Oh, I think in ECS core. Yeah. No, wait. No. Nope, they're not here. Interesting. Whatever. Yeah, I declare some basic types I genuinely thought I implemented some types for. I mean, I did implement them because there is some basic like decision making in the game, but I thought I declared it in the engine, and I cannot find it right now. Some, yeah, react to fear. This is part of the game, so are they just in here? Some needs like hunger, thirst. Well, not thirst. I implemented hunger, fear, entertainment, and sleep. But I cannot find them anymore. Anyway, the point of that is this. Now I kind of want to find them. I do have just a simple game. Did I show it earlier? I think I did. It's just where you're a ghost possessing objects in a house, scaring people. Nothing particularly interesting, to be honest. I didn't love working on it, to be completely honest. I loved working on the engine part of it, but not so much on the game concept itself. Whereas this game is gonna be more about hacking. I feel like I'm gonna like it a lot more. This is the implementation. Okay, so you have to put this for every component that you want to use. That's kind of a limitation that I currently have. I also, the ECS implementation is very, very basic. It's essentially just an array. I was planning on how to make it better, but I don't feel like I'm going to do that today. I'm probably going to do that next time. Using something like archetypes, which is kind of important to ECS. That game was very basic. It's a limited number of objects. I even said there's going to be a maximum of 256 entities. If this game has more than 256 entities, I've just fucked up. I just genuinely... Okay. These needs are clearly just declared inside the game. Where though? Where are they? They're not here. Are they in main? Oh, sim ECS. Oh my god, here it is. I hadn't seen this header file. Alright, so these components, which are specific to the game that I made. Now I'm gonna need to make some other similar, but not quite the same components. Although, how's this hacking game gonna work? First off, let me reintroduce it because I have talked about it a little bit, but it was a while ago. I played some games. I tried playing Uplink. It changed my screen resolution, turned off my secondary screen. I did this on stream, so it was just a mess. Eventually, I was able to get my system back and continue streaming, but I haven't even opened it since then, not even off stream. So, doesn't matter. But I played this game Greyhack, which is pretty interesting. It's just you're sitting in front of a virtual computer, a pretty realistic one, I have to say, Unix-like, pretty well made. Even with the quirks and annoying parts of a Unix system, so good job. I love that part. I like the realistic aspects of the hacking in that game. And I'm sure Uplink as well, because I believe it's somewhat similar, but maybe more simplistic. But it doesn't make for super engaging gameplay. And also, if you are not a technical person, you're probably not going to enjoy a game like that. Because, yeah, who the hell enjoys playing a game where you have to play inside a terminal? A simulated terminal. You're launching an entire game just to then play in a terminal inside that game. That's, yeah, a very niche type of thing. There's other less niche types of games like Watch Dogs or Cyberpunk even that has some hacking elements, but they actually go too far in the opposite direction. Their mini games for hacking are just completely abstract and kind of ridiculous. If you weren't a technical person, why would you want to play a hacking game? For the fun of it. I don't know. I was playing Schedule 1 the other day. I'm not a drug dealer. So, sometimes we play games even though we don't relate to the main characters. Um, I don't want to do a terminal type of game. That's the thing. Then there's the other games that I was mentioning, Watch Dogs and Cyberpunk. They do hacking stuff. Watch Dogs is a very popular hacking game played by a lot of non-technical people, but the hacking in that game is absolute shit. Mostly it just boils down to pressing a button. So I kind of want to go like in between the two in terms of the hacking mechanics themselves. Funnily enough, doing some research, I found that GTA has some pretty GTA 5 has some pretty interesting hacking minigames, minigames apparently, which are abstract enough that you don't need to understand the terminal, but still somewhat related to the actual hack that you're doing. They're very basic things, like there's this one. All of them appear in like the same story mission as well, and in online as well, but I've barely played online. There's this one for like finding an IP address apparently. There's this for brute forcing, which of course includes words like backdoor, which is like a triple entendre, I'm pretty sure. Maybe just double, I don't know. Law, order, flag wars, I don't know. Just finding random words. Down and out. Oh, this is not interactive. The traffic light control is a pretty good one. This is like in the last mission of the... Well, not the last mission. The last heist of the game. So yeah, they have some pretty interesting minigames that are a good mix, I believe, between... Not realistic. They're not realistic in the slightest. They are abstract, but they still represent what the hack actually is. So they have consistency, I believe. And more than realism, I prefer consistency. So I want to do something like this. Not something like Watch Dogs, which is literally just press a button and make stuff happen. Or Cyberpunk, which is just press a button, but a different one, and make stuff happen. Instead, a mix of the two. And also not, you know, type out an entire command with the exact correct arguments and whatnot. And don't make a single typo, and you have to understand how a Unix system works, otherwise you won't be able to play the game. So, low mix between the two. And at the same time, I said that I wanted to make the world of the game also kind of important, which is why I'm talking about using a RimWorld aesthetic. Like, why would I use this in a hacking game where it's just hacking? Well, because the physical world in which you are playing is also important. Not only would you possibly be able to do things outside of just hacking, but also hacking. That's actually a thing that I like a lot about Watch Dogs. Physical hacks, maybe even an aspect of social engineering. Did I write anything about that here? Any examples? Yes. Okay, so you could do like a physical hack. Did I come up with an? Yes. Okay, so like physical hack, something like a USB that you have to plug into something. Or a text that you send to someone. An exploit that you use. And I'm having a hard time deciphering what I wrote here. I kind of understand. I'm having a hard time explaining it more so. Essentially, the way that hacks would work is you want to deliver a certain behavior that happens. For example, scanning a network, decrypting some information. All of which can be like put together in a somewhat modular way. So for example, this modular hack phone example, which is just called that because that's an example that I came up with when I was first coming up with this with this mechanic, would be able to decrypt a mail password reading your texts. Oh, well, it hacks everything on your phone. So yeah, it would be able to like decrypt your mail password so you have access to the target's mail, read their text so you have access to that, read their bank info so you have access to their bank, and then send all the information that it retrieves to an email so that you can get that information for yourself. So this is like the payload, what's being delivered. It can then be delivered through an exploit, which I'm not being super clear here. Essentially, the vulnerability that you're exploiting, I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. So let me actually just skip that part. And then the delivery method, which can be like physical, like a USB. Or over the network, over a, I don't know, executable that they have to run, over a text, something like that. So I kind of want the world that you play in to play a part in this, which is why I want to build a world for the game. Also, when you build a world for a game, you can also use it for other games. So that's a pretty useful thing to do. Okay, so today I want to focus a little bit on that, just creating like a very maybe simple game world. And then, I don't know, like put a little computer in and see if you can go up to it and like, I don't know how I want to do the computers yet. That's the thing. Will it be available to play when it's released? No, nobody will ever play. No, yes, of course. That's also why I wanted to focus on the cross-platform stuff, because I don't want to make it just for my operating system. I did that for the Ghost game in October. That was a little change of pace and one-man game jam, essentially. Let me redo this, because this is kind of a mess. But even then, that's very buggy right now, but it is playable cross-platform. Although on Mac I haven't been able to build, and I've been told that on Windows it crashes or it doesn't work. So I guess it's Redacted OS and Linux, but it is cross-platform. But yeah, as I continue to expand my cross-platform capabilities, I will be able to make it for all systems, hopefully. So it will be playable as well. And yeah, okay, so today I'm gonna try to do a very simple like world, and then I can start to figure out, like, because I know what the world is gonna be like, but I don't know what the computers are gonna work like, how our computer network's gonna work. Is it gonna, I'm not sure how I want to do it, but like, is it gonna be kind of physical, like you can interfere with the network physically as well? For example, these gray things in RimWorld are power lines. So would you be able to disrupt that, for example? That's an interesting thing. And then can the computer system be built in such a modular way, in a realistic way, or a consistent way? I prefer to use the word, well, if I say realistic, I'm more so speaking consistent. It follows a well-established and clear set of rules that may or may not be similar to how it works in the real world. I'm gonna try to say consistent, but if I say realistic, that's what I mean. So yeah, I would like the computers to work in a somewhat like, yeah, consistent way. Just a way that I can make it modular and then see how that goes. All right. Let me start with some basic, let's say, game world. All right, so we're gonna need to create the game world itself. We need to create a player, and we'll need to create tiles, and then we'll want to create a computer in those tiles. And then maybe eventually we'll want to create some like network of computers. Let's focus on the first two right now, because I want to just do a simple for loop that just puts tiles in the world. Nothing particularly complex right now. All right. Let me see how much I can get done without having to look up the reference in the other game. Mind you, the engine has no documentation. And most of its code was actually inside the Ghost game until very recently, until like 2 weeks ago. And there's an ad starting, so I'll do that when I'm back. And I'm also gonna turn on that light. I'll be back in 3 minutes. All right, I'm back. And the girls are fighting. Every time I open my damn phone during an ad break, I see something. Apparently, it was announced a few days ago that Netflix was gonna buy Warner Brothers, and now Paramount is bidding as well to buy Warner Brothers. Hence, the girls are fighting. And they actually said, we're gonna release 30 movies a year for a theatrical release, just to appeal to people. I mean, I like movie theaters. I like movies. I don't like monopolies. But the entire thing is funny as hell. Anyway, fuck Netflix, because like, yeah, it's horrible. All right. I said I was going to try to create a player and a a simple game world without looking at reference. For a game engine that I've used once, and pretty much I just created one entity and then I just copied the code and pasted it everywhere else. Also, real quick, a while ago I created, I believe it's this. Yes. I created a character. It's 16 pixels. It's very tiny. But anyway, created a... Oh, there's already a resources folder. I created a very simple character, which is a PNG image. And I can use it for the player character. I'm not going to create any sprites for... Can you please do what I told you? Just like... Put it in there? No? Alright. Hold on. Let me do this manually. There. Alright, so we have... Tiny little guy over here. How can I zoom in? I know it's 16 by 16, but come on. There's gotta be a way to zoom in. There isn't a way to zoom in. Wait, do I have GIMP on this computer? Nope. Even though I deleted the installer today, so I think I used to... I was going to download it and then I never did. Or I was going to install it and then I never did. What do you mean, sorry, something went wrong? Show the image? I'm trying. It's just very small. I'm going to edit it. I'm going to make it bigger. I'm going to make it a BMP because PNGs are quite slow to load in my system. So for the sake of... Although I had to patch Raylib in order to make PNGs work. I mean BMPs work. Well, not Raylib, STB. I believe that's the name of the library. But it's used by Raylib, so... Yeah, that's super low quality, holy shit. Alright, edit. Is it edit? Image probably. Scale image, alright. Let's make it like a 64 by 64. Yes, thank you. Alright. There we go. It's just incredibly, yeah, no. I don't have a sprite installed. I can do a very quick new version of this because this is just absolutely horrifying. But I have a sprite on Steam. Steam takes about a year to open. And luckily, at least on Windows, it doesn't... I mean, on Linux, it doesn't have a million updates every time you open it. What do you mean 30 kilobits per second? Alright, that's better. No. Edit. Preference. Nope. Damn it. Edit. Preferences. Dark. Damn it, I cancelled. Sorry about this. Probably destroying everyone's eyeballs right now. Also, this UI is very tiny. I think you can scale it. Image to vector. I don't know about that. That's probably going to be complicated to get it working in my system, so let's not. Alright, that's better. That's the preview of my sprite, and oh, here it is, okay. I was wondering where it was. Alright. It looked a little something like, wait, hold on. Forgot all the symmetry options. There it is. What did he look like? At the very least, I can look at that. Or I can probably just import it into a sprite and then just fix it up a little bit. Because 16 by 16 is just incredibly tiny. It's not gonna be any good to... Yeah, no, that just... Alright, hold on. I can probably convert. Nope. New. Nope. Properties. Nope. Sprite. Properties. Yes. Okay, I saw it there. Sprite size. Right, we'll make it 64 by 64. That will scale it up. It's gonna look kind of weird, but then I can just go in and kind of fix him up a little bit. Delete that. Not sure what that was. How do I zoom in? Like that. Okay. Pick the color and then just do like a... Oh, that's not a full rectangle. No, I think I did it wrong. Hold on. I should do it. Just like that. Then that. And then just delete. It's like a 1 pixel. Well, like a 4 pixel. And then not there. Here. Make it a little bit bigger. Damn it. It's so hard to work. I don't know why. I mean, it's zoom in a lot. That's better. And then probably erase this part. All right, there he is, upscaled. Oh, that's how you zoom in. You don't have to press any keys. You just use the scroll wheel. All right, good to find that out at the very last minute. Let's round them up a little bit. And do that. Nope, that was too much. Yeah, no, one more. There we go. Okay, now he's symmetrical. Except his mouth is no longer in the middle. Damn it. Come on, man. There, now he should be. All right. Yeah, I think the low poly version of it looked better. Low poly, I say, like. Just do that, and then give him white. How do I switch the color here? The leg? What about the leg? He's a little bit too wide, isn't he? Yeah, it's actually better. All right, I'll keep it like this for now, cause actually no, I don't want a PNG. I wanna export him as a he had a name. One side is big. No, I made it the same. Yeah, I think you're right. Which one of these is the size? This one. It's 8. And this one? It's 8. That's the same size, but what about this? Oh, okay. I see now. What the hell did I just do? Damn it. Wrong layer. A classic. Alright, there. Are you happy now? Do you look symmetrical, except for your eyes that are not symmetrical. I think you are symmetrical. Nah. Alright, he's symmetrical. He has no arms. We can't all be perfect. Yes, but what I was trying to save was the file. He had a name, and I forgot what it was. I cannot find it on my... The file was called what? Pixel frame? The goal for the hacking game is kind of just hacking, essentially, where you hack stuff. Was Pixel his name, or is this... I genuinely cannot remember. Hold on, I have it on this computer. I can check. His name was Redo. Okay. Because he's red. And also redacted OS, so red. Alright, we'll save him. And I also export him as a BMP, not as a PNG. Export, no that, no problem. Thank you. Don't save whatever the hell that was. And we can get rid of this one now. We have the BMP. We can close Steam. And we can close GIMP. Discard. Alright. Livestream thumbnails, very good. Oh god. Let me see. It's just a zoom of this guy's crotch. Okay. Well. Alright, now I'm actually doing this. So. Not looking at reference, I'm going to create the player. Okay, I remember that's how you create an entity. You don't need to register it, it's automatically created. You need to add component give set. Damn it, I already need reference. Oh god. Come on, I said I was gonna do this without reference. Isn't it add component, bro? No, it's not. Alright, I'm looking at reference. How much did that last? Like 2 seconds. Create component, for fuck's sake. Player, the component is going to be a sprite. And its initializer. I did choose that, yes. Component. Base image is load image. Resources redo.bmp with the image info. Need to fill that in. And BMP. Then do I need to set any more information for it? No, I don't believe I do. Well, it's transform eventually, but I feel like I don't have to do that right away. What I do have to do is I need to create component for the player. It's going to be a transform, and it is going to be using a location of 30, 30, 30. Doesn't like that. Why not? Too many arguments. Oh, you need to wrap this in. All this is done with macros, so need to wrap it in a few parentheses here and there to make it work. Component size. Are you using Vim keys in Z? No, I'm not. Although, maybe? I mean, I did like some aspects of it, but I don't know. I uninstalled NeoVim, Helix, and all the other ones. No, actually, not all the other ones. Emacs is still there. I don't know how to get rid of that. I'll have to look into it. Well, it's actually... kind of like that. A little bit. Thank you. Welcome. Okay, size. I need to remember the coordinate system. And I did create a room size. Very important. Which is actually more of a view size, not a room size. What do I make it? Like a 16:9 even. All right, and so the player is gonna take up a good vector 2, 1. And again, I need parentheses here. Today's editor is the last editor. It is Z. It is official. Okay, do I need any more entities for this? I mean, any more components for this? I know there is a camera follow, which doesn't need an initializer. There might even be a create tag. Nope. Never created that. All right. Very low chance. Okay, actually, no, it will not run. I was going to say very low chance that this will show the player on the screen. It's very low. I am sticking with Z, yes. It's official. Yesterday, I ended my stream earlier than I was expecting because nothing was working. So I didn't get a chance to officially announce it, but yes. Okay, register system. Nothing is working is a classic computer situation, right? A camera follow is not right. Follow. Is it cam follow or is it camera follow system? It's camera follow system. Yes. Okay. I need to register the render system as a render component. And I don't know what others I have to, so okay, I'm probably getting to the point where I need to look at reference, but might as well run it and see what happens. Nothing happens, that's about right. But it did load our resource properly, so that is good. Kind of. This doesn't do anything, but it is good. All right. Here. Register systems. All of this stuff I'll probably need. Well, not all of it. Actually, most of it I won't need. These are the two that were already there, so we don't need these. Resizing sprites, movement system, clamping movement system will be needed, but it currently isn't a thing. Fear is not a thing in this game. Neither are hunger, sleep, or entertainment. They will be eventually, but they're not right now. And they're all done through macros, so they're not particularly complicated. Brain system will be necessary eventually, but it isn't right now because there's no AI. Same for path following. These for the smart objects. And look at debug can go. Okay, so we need the resize sprite, movement, camera, and render system. And then in order to render someone, the create player, it's got to be here somewhere. Create entities, create component, player EID, okay, has a transform, has a size of 2 by 2, and the location placed in the middle of the first room, cool, has a movement component which I haven't added, it has a sprite and a... I wonder if this is the only reason it's not rendering. That would be funny. Oh, renderable. Renderable is missing as well. Okay, so kind of need all of these for the player, actually. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to copy all of it. Put it here. Because this will put it in the middle of the room. So I'll replace this. Size can stay a 1 by 1 for now. Movement, not right now. I mean, yeah, we can do movement. The sprite, need to mark it as visible. Zen on macOS, every time you open the recent project, just opens all the folders. I don't know if this is also on Linux. I was using it on macOS earlier, it was fine. Oh, the renderable component. We need to keep that one. Layer player. Okay, this needs to go because this was for possessing objects. Oh, I see now why it was called the player EID, because there's already something called a player, and it's a type. So we'll just, there. And then I need to see the value of layer player. Where the fuck does this come from? It's... oh. These can probably be put in the engine. Wherever I declare the rendering stuff. Renderable. Here, I feel like that makes sense. And that way, layer player is a thing. Okay, still doesn't render. It also does not quit when you press the X button. But, right. All the functionality that I did in outside of the game engine. So the game engine's main loop, it uses a while true, which instead should be using a while should close when or should close context. Who remembers? You remember, so please tell me. What is this gonna open in that it's taking forever? Emacs, which I just deleted. While not should close context. So yeah, I spelled it right. The thing I didn't do is bear it. Alright, so you shouldn't complain anymore. Except you're still complaining. But hey, it works, so. Wait, not sure if bear actually compiles the project or not, but if it does, it probably compiled it for default, which is not for cross-platform. Okay, now this works. Cool. And so does this. Cool. Although that closing with the escape is not a good thing. Probably have to get rid of that. Do I need to register the component in any way? The player, I mean, in any way? No. Just create entity should be enough. Transform movement, the sprite, make it visible, renderable, put it on a layer, possessed, player, possessor. That doesn't need to be there. Camera follow, that's good. And the rest is just creating random entities. Well, random entities, they're part of that game world. Oh, right. All of the components need to be actually implemented. Which should lead to a compilation error if they're not. Or at the very least a runtime error? So how can it possibly not be a runtime error that these are not implemented? Look at calm, terrified, calm down, bored, entertained, do something, starve, satiated, eat, sleep deprived, well rested, go sleep, calming, escaping. All of these can go. The brain ones are going to stay but commented out. These can go. These can go. And this one can stay but commented out. Same for this one. Which leaves me with just one component. Cool. Wait, what about the, like, transform component? Is that implemented here? Oh, yeah. Okay. So there should be a player, but there isn't. Well, actually, there's no need for this printf. I already know it's loading that stuff because this image gets loaded. Oh, wait, this info is completely wrong. By the way, it should be component info address instead of just storing it nowhere. So that probably made it not have enough information to render the image. It still doesn't render. All right, what else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Transform is fine. The movement is not important. Component info, yeah, that's correct. BMP. It's hard to debug when you're working at this level. The first steps of a new project can be hard to debug sometimes, especially when you're working like this. Sleep, hunger, entertainment, fear. Look at is not important. Collider, not really important. Actually, pretty sure the player in the other game doesn't have a collider at all. Path follower, not important either. What theme do you want information on? The Z theme is Cyberpunk. I can actually see it. Synthwave 84. I said Cyberpunk 84. It's Synthwave 84. Wait, this is not the dark version of it? This is the dark version of it. Actually, I like this one more. I did download a bunch to test them out, but I ended up liking this one more. There's whatever the hell this is. I thought the transparent ones would look cool because they would have like blur or something, but they don't. They just look like this. Oh, this is the cyberpunk one. Ooh. Okay, we're just gonna stick to a synthwave one. I also had a Helix one. I don't know why it didn't get installed. It installed on my Mac, but it didn't install on here, so whatever. All right. Still though, I'm sticking to this one. All right. Resize, movement, camera follow, render system. Are any more necessary than this? Or do I need to do anything else to set up the game? This is another question that I should probably ask myself. Run the game. Clear. Manual logic. Oh, this is doing input, which by the way, I should have moved the input into the engine, but I haven't. Oh, the possessed tag. This one. Set tag true. That's how you do it. I mean, I'm good with this theme, actually. And, you know, I don't like to spend too much time customizing stuff. Only they made it easy to just customize it however you want, which is kind of my goal for my system, but this is not my system or my code editor. So for the time being, we're good. Okay, not seeing anything that's missing except for these two. These two are not declared. They might be necessary. Oh, camera scale is, it was declared, but it was, yeah, I see now. It was set to 0. Eesh, multiple definitions of zoom changed. I see. So that one's already declared somewhere else. There he is! Hey! Alright. We have input. I mean, we have a character. Okay, cool. He's very small, so I'm actually going for the 2x2 instead of the 1x1. Or even 3x3. It's a bit too big. Actually, the window's a little bit too small is the problem. How much was the room size here? I think that's in the main. 16 by 9. It's the exact same size that I used. Oh, a game map? What is this being used for? Well, whatever. We'll get to that eventually. As I do this, I'm gonna start cleaning up the code a little bit. Adding new functionality and whatnot. Okay. The player is considered possessed, so that's good. And the player is there. In this game, the movement system, the event handler here, is... I see what the problem is. This should not be in manual logic. It should be in its own logic. So that's where in the engine.h. No. Is it in ECS.h? The declaration for that system? I mean, for that function? Manual logic, yeah. Oh, wait. Never mind. Input system is going to be declared here. And then implemented in the ECS core. Or you could just implement it yourself if you so wish. It needs to have this extern boolean zoom changed, which is then handled by the some other system that handles that. Oh, the resize sprite system, I'm pretty sure. And this event handler that was in the game, in the previous game, is going to become a player input handler. And it is going to be declared and called from here. I'm probably gonna have to change the way that it works, because right now it's tied to the player's movement. That's kind of dumb. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. And I'm just gonna pass the player's ID. And the movement component is going to be taken directly like that. Not that it worked. Movement T. Okay, it's not movement T, it's just movement. And now it works. Okay, cool. So you can handle movement, input however you want. It's just done by actually the possessed input handler, which is here and here. And your game can handle that however it wants. Instead of this manual logic stuff, takes an entity UID, and it also takes a, what's the other part of it? KBD event. Oh, it's missing it's missing mouse input. All right, never mind. KBD handler and mouse handler. Then I also want to declare this map zoom function, which just handles the default functionality. Ah. You need to pass delta time to all of these, damn it. No, delta time should be first. No, delta time should be last. Oh god. You passed delta time to these. Okay. Pass the delta time to the input system. Then the input system calls the possessed keyboard handler with a delta time that's currently being ignored, but it might be useful, so we'll keep it. And then on top of that, we'll also use the possessed mouse handler, which is just going to internally call map zoom with the event and the delta time. This one I'm actually going to copy. These two I'm actually going to copy entirely. For this game, with the exception of what happens when you enter. Right now it's nothing. Oh, when you space either. And then include the keyboard key codes. And after a lot of changes, hold on. Make that. Okay. Okay. This game still works. This game also works. But the input does not. Hardly a problem. We can fix that. I did give it a movement. But I didn't put the clamp movement system in, so he shouldn't be limited in its movement. I did put this in. Is it being called? I'm gonna go with yes. Wait. Alright. It is moving, but the background is completely static. And there's a camera follow system that works a little bit too well. So he was not he didn't look like he was moving. Actually, I do wonder if I can make the camera follow system have a very quick, very simple delay in it with this cam follow. Should be possible, right? I haven't implemented a vector lerp, but I can implement a vector lerp. And if I do that, it should be possible to add a little bit of a delay to it. Also, I use lerp for everything, so I hope lerp is the right function to use here. It's been a while since I've done game development, besides that brief thing with the other game that I just showed. So, hope my skills are still up to the task. Okay, so I'm going to implement a vector lerp with a factor. And it is just going to return a vector2 made out of the different icon theme for Z. Oh, I was looking into customizing that, and then I saw that it does absolutely nothing. So I'm a little bit surprised by that. I haven't tried it on this computer, but I should try it on the... I did try it on my other one and it didn't work. So I'm a little bit surprised. I'm not sure what happened there. But it didn't change my icon in the slightest. In my OS project? Is it different per project? Gotta change the icon theme after installing one. That's what I did, but it didn't work. Alright, vector2 lerp is implemented. Let me see if I can use it. Nope. Here. Between the camera position and the new one with the delta time. That is probably going to be super slow if it does work. But worth a shot. Who gave the guy crack again? God damn it. Alright. Um, some icon themes have a different icon for different folder names. I see. Alright, I saw there's zthemes.com. It wasn't working last night. I got it to work earlier. Okay, now it works. But I'm not sure if this has icon packs. Because like at no point throughout the development of extensions did they ever bother giving you a preview inside the editor itself. So okay, these ones work. I actually don't mind them. I feel like it's not changing anything, but okay, I'll keep these for now. They kind of go with the theme actually, so. There's nothing that goes with the theme that I currently have, so. Use the cappuccino icons. Alright, so it's the same ones I'm using. Alright, oh yeah, guys on crack. What does this even do? The camera position is the... Yeah, that should be fine. Yeah, I feel like lerp was not the right option to use there, but it kind of works. Alright, let me figure out the camera position stuff later, because right now he's moving, but you can barely see what's happening because there's nothing going on behind him. There is an end coming up, so I'm gonna create some very simple tiles when I'm back. But every icon theme, but I still use the default one because it fits best. I like this one, to be honest. It fits with the theme that I have. Well, that's pretty nice. All right, I'll be back in 3 minutes. Alright, I'm back. The no thanks I use AI thing was supposed to be like a little billboard. It was supposed to integrate into the background, but I didn't have enough time to finish it properly. Which is also why it doesn't adapt to the size of the image inside of it. Whoops. Forgot to do that. It is also not a billboard, it's just a floating div at this point. Couldn't really make the billboard the billboard look good, like it fits into the rest of the world, so I'll have to figure that out. I have to say I'm kind of reaching the limits of my CSS abilities with that one. Alright, the player moves, but you can't really see the movement properly. So instead, hold on. I think I just thought about with the movement thing. Where did I do the movement thing? Damn it. Here? Here. It just follows an entity with a transform and possessed, but yeah, okay, that's... And it lerps. It seems to kind of glitch a little bit. But before I go further with that, let me create a simple game map that needs to actually be visible. Let me do like a ton of entities and see how that goes. I can't do that. There's a maximum limit of 256 entities. Holy shit. 256, which also is 16 by 16. Okay, so that's too many. Let's do an 8 by 8 grid. I need to work a little bit on the architecture of the engine. Right now, it is super limited. 256 entities is not enough. Although it should be enough for me to just change that number. There's a maximum number of systems. And a maximum number of entities set to 256. I should be able to just change this number and increase it. That'll increase the memory usage, but not by a whole lot, so it should be fine. But it should be dynamic so that there isn't a limit. Right now, that's not a thing. Try about it. Okay. So this is going to have a solid component, so a solid color. What is the color going to be like? Well, it's going to be set as red I can't do math today, holy shit. Wait. Okay. Renderable with a component layer that is going to be layer background. And then anything else important, the transform would be nice to have. No movement, no possession, no camera follow. Size and BioMX. Location is going to be its vector 2 with the x and the y as is, I believe. Okay. And then we're just going to create map inside of create entities, and bada bing bada boom, we have a game map. It's very small, but there's our player, and there's the game map. Stands to reason that if the player is 2 by 2, then the tiles should be 2 by 2. Is the player really occupying one tile? It just completely freaks out, huh? Sometimes. Yeah, let's not do that. Smooth camera follow with a delay. I'll figure that out eventually, but... where the hell is it? I'll figure it out some other time. Right now is really not the time for that. Right now is the time for the player to just move. Cool. Okay. I'm a little weirded out by the size, because it does not feel like the player is the size of one tile. And if you look at the... he should be smaller than a tile. And yet, he feels bigger than a tile. He's slightly bigger than a tile, which is really weird. It's not supposed to be. Never mind. I guess he is supposed to be. Okay, good. That's not a bug. Just a mistake. Alright, that's better. That's better. How is it in RimWorld? Just a question I'm gonna ask myself a lot. A pawn is actually slightly bigger than a tile. So maybe it was better before. But okay, cool. At least it wasn't my mistake. Okay, can I do more entities? That's a question that's really worth asking. I wrote... how did I swap those two numbers? How does that happen? Did that say nothing to be done? Okay, it doesn't seem to crash the entire system, so that's good. And I seem to be able to do more tiles. Hell yeah. Cool. That... okay. That's good enough for now. I don't have to immediately start implementing dynamic memory allocations for the tiles. That's always useful. That's always nice to have. Like I said, I'm gonna have to make some changes. to the way that they work, but I'll do that next time, let's say. Right now, I'm just doing a very quick prototype, so mm, 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 mm. I keep looking for VS Codium here, so it takes me a while to actually find what I'm looking for. Okay, that, and then like give me like a lighter. And maybe the other way around. Ooh, why is the... Yeesh, I feel like the rendering's not going well. There, I don't know why the player looks like that, but they're now in a room. What I'm not sure about is what is going on here. There's just one corner missing. Is the... No, it's not this tile. I don't know what's happening there. Why is the player... Oh, there's a tile missing here too. If x is 0 or x is... So all the 0 tiles, all the last tiles, all the y tiles, all the last tiles should be this color, although I'm not entirely sure if this is being respected properly. No. And I'm not sure why the player also has this background now. How did that happen? I'm just gonna continue coding and we'll figure that out later. Probably gonna need brackets here. Create component for the tile. It's gonna be a collider. It is going to be using the blocking type. Collisions don't work, I believe, right now. So it's either gonna break or like just not gonna work well. But did I even do that right? Yeah? No. Okay, I just have to change the layer. It's wall, it's blocking, otherwise it's background. And then this component doesn't get added to some tiles, it gets added to the player. Where its layer is going to be the layer player. And its mask is going to be... No, I think it needs to be added to both. I'll need to figure that out. Oh, it was supposed to be CT. Okay. So yeah, I did that wrong. All right, your layer is CT player. Yeah, because these layers are visible layers. These are collision layers. They're different. And then there's going to be a if wall create component tile collider component layer is CT static and the mask is going to be empty. Well, you don't need a mask. I believe that's how you do it, but I'm not sure if it's gonna work at all. Yes, actually, surprisingly, yes. Not super well, but it mostly works. It just doesn't work down here. It stops here instead of here. But hey, that's that works more than I expected it to. If I'm completely honest, I still don't know why the player has this thing. Jester. Jester, can you stop doing that on camera every single time, every single day? Please. It's also a very annoying sound. Even if you ignore what it is, it's just an annoying sound. Jester, please stop. Thank you. Public indecency on the internet. How dare you sully this good place? All right. Real quick. Why are there some tiles missing? I don't understand that. I'm starting at 0 to max tile. Shouldn't that create enough tiles? I'm ignoring this wall stuff. For that matter, we're just gonna... Wait. Yeah, this is always layer background. That's wrong. But that's not relevant here. Why does the player have that? It's so weird. Int x, 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 y, y, y. Okay. So I am doing 16 by 16. Let me count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Bro, why is that 15 and not 16? What's happening to the first tiles that are not being created at all? The first and last tile. Lib UV, so highly praised, but not have good ducks. What's that? Does it do UVs? A libov. Cross-platform asynchronous I/O does not do UVs. Okay. The event loop behind Node.js. Interesting. Wait, did I see Soding did a thing on that? Yeah. Oh my. Is this the reason? Nope. Okay, why on earth does the player have that? One tile gets placed by itself, and it does not give the player that weird ass halo. Well, halo, background, I guess. But when you do it multiple times, all of a sudden, it... Wait. Did I recompile? Oh, they're all in the same place, aren't they? So, turns out, it is not enough to just increase the maximum number of entities. Somewhere in the code, there is something that's making them loop. Something that's hard-coded to 256. God knows where. Somewhere here. So this max entities 1024 is not working correctly. It's looping around, and the first and last entities in the tile are being merged with the human. Which is why they didn't show, and the human had that background. Oh, I suspected something like this was gonna happen. Why though? Wait, I know why. I know why. Holy shit, I know why. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure I know why. Do I need to maybe make clean? I mean, maybe? No, I did. I did make clean. Because it's actually a change inside a header, so I had to make clean. My make file does not do headers like that. But I realize what it is. I'm pretty sure. Create entity. Entity. No. Entity. Yep. Yep. It was 8 bits for an entity. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Ah, you love to see it. No, for fuck's sake, that's not it. Wait, no, I didn't clean. Hey, yo, what's your problem now? Well, argument type, blah, 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 blah. Shut the fuck up. Hey, there you have it. All right. Okay, that, I lost the color of the other thing. And I closed the color picker that I used. Pretty sure it was here. Did not look like this, I can tell you that much. What the hell? Man, why is it every time I copy in Linux, I'm just angry by the end of it? Why does that keep happening? Cool. We're in a room. Okay, the bottom collision is not working fine, but everything else is working fine. All right, and there is one more thing. Small change I just saw and I needed to make, and I already forgot what it is. Yeah, the size of the window that is being created is determined, pretty sure, by ECS core based on the room size, perhaps? It's done by the engine. Prepare graphics. I see. Why is it when the OS is open? Oh, because it's the last project. I was gonna say, why does this project disappear? But it's because it's under this one. Alright, so I just need to change the room size, right? Nope. Damn it. Mm, yeah, but it's not called draw context, is it? Why is that not working? Fuck. Wait, resizing the window is not working like at all. Feels like it should. It is implemented right here. Also, it's not working now. Oh, invalid window maximum size. Yeah, every time it says the same thing. Okay, yeah, but where are you saying that? Is it telling me that the maximum size I can set it to is 928 by 297? You also need to set window size. I didn't think I did. Maybe I do. I'm not even... Wait, recompiling. Okay, now it worked. So set window size. I don't know why I thought that set window size did not exist. So I implemented it with minimum and maximum size, which is not right. Okay, I understand. Cool. All right. For my last trick, I'm going to give little guy a little computer. What does a computer look like? I have no idea. You set min before max? Oh, that could be it. Yeah. Wait, because now technically you can resize it to whatever you want, right? No? No, you can't. Never mind. Alright, what do I want it to look like? 1980s? Maybe something like this? No, why not? Why not? Why not? Why not? Why not? Okay, you know what? I have a computer in front of me? Where? Could not display what? Oh, it can't open with a sprite because, yeah. Okay, got it. How do I zoom? I keep forgetting how to zoom in. Instead, I'm just changing the size of the cursor. All right. Good thing I gave these names. Okay, so we're not gonna need an antenna. Should I give them an antenna? Let's not get rid of it just yet. Okay. We are gonna get rid of the colors thingy here. We're gonna make it black. We are gonna bring the glare in. We're then gonna, can I select multiple? Am I selecting all of these? Yeah. Right. Select everything and just move it up. No. Fuck. I thought that would work. There's probably a way to make it work. Onion skin is the same. What's onion skin? Oh, did that select them all? No. No. You have to manually make sure all the layers you want to transform are selected. Shift clicking them. It doesn't feel like it. Actually, nothing's moving anymore. Yeah, what did I do? Now only this is moving. Um, oh, after selection, okay. Let me try this then. Nope. Oh, it's actually that simple. Well, the shadows are not going to be much use. The antenna does not need this stuff anymore. What's that? What, that should not be there. Yeah, it's in there. All right. There's a move tool, zoom tool. All right, that's what I want, actually. I want that on the frame, the glare, the black, and also the colors, but that's not gonna be okay, I didn't actually do it. God damn it. Okay. Wait, so this? Alright, this is completely useless. How to add multiple layers at once. Da, 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 da. Unhelpful Ace Hail. It's actually so unhelpful. God damn it. At this point, it would have been faster for me to just make it from scratch, but... You can create a layer group containing all layers. Okay, that could help, I guess. Trying to do pretty much all of them except for the antenna. How the... It says open group here, so there's gotta be a way to group them. But I'm not seeing the tool to group them. Layer, new group. It's intuitive. There it is. Alright, in that group, I'm then gonna put... Oh, they're already in. Okay. So now... That doesn't fucking work. Are you serious? You know what? Oh! It worked. Okay, so it is just a preview thing. Right, there it is. Then the shadows are going to be completely messed up now, but I can probably make them match to a certain extent. Except I should probably remove them. Actually make the antenna like a little bit flatter. There's an extra layer there that didn't make it into, I mean a little extra area that didn't make it into the edit. So goodbye to you. Also in the group, the frame, I'm going to use this color. Can I make it square? Here. Okay. I don't want to change its color entirely, actually. Then I'm probably gonna want to make this whole area like bigger. So that it... Oh, I see. I guess like that. And then I also want to make you bigger like that. Yeah, the antenna, I'm not convinced. Okay, back to you. Take a darker color and use that here, here, and here, and ooh, here, also here. Move the entire thing higher. So I can actually fit a keyboard in. They all do have a little side panel, pretty much. Maybe instead of a keyboard, I'll just do a thing like this. That's easier for me to draw. Damn it, that was supposed to be a full rectangle. That still looks weird. Hold on, first off, this needs to be... This needs to be here. Okay. Like that. There we go. Damn it. Damn it. Wait, why is this part of that layer? Oh god, these layers are all messed up, I feel like. Not entirely sure what I was doing with them, but I messed them up. Yeah, as to why that little area is sticking out, I have no idea. Or why that is part of this. Oh god, you're not supposed to do that though. What a mess. Just like a real computer. Now the corners are all messed up too. Oh god. Wow. It really is a mess. Alright, that's better. Yeah, that's good enough for now. I always say that and then I always end up keeping it, so... We'll see what good enough for now means. For the time being, it's gonna mean good enough for now. Okay. It's gonna make it match this, deleting those two, those two, those two, not three. These two over here. All right, it still feels incredibly weird. I don't know about this. Is that one smaller? feel like that's the correct size. I mean, at least I sure hope so. I can then give it like a little, I don't know, green button. What the fuck is that color? Yellow. Actually, I'm gonna put it in its own layer. I'm gonna mess with it later. Bigger. And then some cable or something would be nice. I like this. I'm not sure how to do the keys because that requires perspective and I don't like perspective. Then again, the entire perspective of the game is a little messed up, so... It's top down, but then this is what the computer looks like. So that's not exactly top down. It's whatever. That's whatever. I'll figure that out eventually. It doesn't... You don't need to know everything right away. It's okay to figure it out along the way. Or never. But ideally along the way. And then, can I give it like a little cable? Can I do like a little cable? How would I go about doing a cable? Do I just do... Kind of like that, but a little less messed up would be nice. Is it Control-Shift-N for a new layer? No, it isn't. It's Shift-N. Gotta get started first, making it right can come later. Exactly. Am I even gonna stick to pixel art? I don't like pixel art. I'm doing pixel art because of my technical capabilities being... Well, not my technical capabilities, more so my rendering capabilities being kind of low right now. That doesn't feel right. Kinda. I feel like the concept is there. Especially the red cable. I like the idea of the red cable. But like, I don't know. Does it just go like kind of in a loop? Kind of like that? It's very low key. But kind of. Make it go mostly behind the screen. Just like peek out a little bit. Then go in a loop. Maybe even peek out again. Wait. Maybe even peek out again. Yeah. 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 And then just a darker cable here. But then I am going to need some actual connection between all of them. Maybe like that. Okay, yeah, but the cable is like unnaturally bent. So let me start this part of the cable over. Damn it, I didn't mean to do that. How does it look with the antenna now? No. I like the idea of the computer having an antenna. I just don't think that's what it should look like. I feel like that doesn't look like a cable. That feels better. That feels better. All right. And then, can I move the entire thing? Damn it, can you please move the entire thing? Come on, when I need you to move the entire thing, you don't. When I don't need you to move the entire thing, you do? Bro, come on. There. Alright, bring the antenna back real quick. No, because it just looks like a TV when you put the antenna on it. Yeah, without that, it looks good, but not so sure about this. All right, let me just do some shading real quick. And then figure out the antenna. Okay, so kind of like it's the last layer. It should be the first one. Well, no, under the glare. That and that is black like that. That, and that. No. Wait, these should have inset shadows like this. And here. This button can stick out a little bit. And then maybe just a tiny bit of a shadow here. Here and here. And the same thing on this side. And then the magic trick, lower the opacity. Would be nice if you could use Raylib for 3D. I'm pretty sure they have a software renderer. Only thing is I don't know if you can get it to work on your OS. I wouldn't be able to work on my OS. I need OpenGL. And to have OpenGL, I need to figure out 3D rendering by myself anyway. So, I mean, eventually, yeah, I'll be able to do it. It's just like not gonna be anytime soon. My original idea for this game's art was going to be 3D. I think I tried to do a little prototype. It didn't really work out, but I tried to do a little prototype. It was going to be 2D renders of 3D assets. Raylib has a software renderer with a frame buffer now? Interesting. Well, that's what I have to implement anyway. I have to implement it on my own, so. Still not convinced by that cable, by the way. All right, there's an ad coming up, so just gonna finish this. This cable, I still don't like you. Is there a tool for this? Polygon tool, maybe? Blur, jumble, no. This is the polygon tool. Oh, but this is polygon, okay. No. Curve tool, my god. Just gonna run it from here. Yeah. Too thick. Alright, that might work. Wait, shit. It might have worked if I hadn't messed it up. That might work. Alright. We have an asset. The entire... No. Damn it. I didn't mean to export it as tv.ace. Comp.ace. The bad thing about having software through Steam is it's quite slow to open. Alright. There we have our computer. It's very flat. It's very flat. Now I have to do this again. Okay. Come on. I can do this. Okay, the antenna's out, sadly. Again, I like the idea of having an antenna, but... I still haven't figured out what the rules for this are. Come on, man. Are you serious? It's so annoying. Alright, let's redo the selection, maybe? And that changes some of it. And it feels like it picked it at random, too. That changes nothing. Okay, it's gonna stay small. Fuck it. It's gonna be a little flat. It's okay. If you disable the overlay, would it be quicker? What overlay? You know what? Let's leave that for some other time. And right now, just... Oh yeah, I did notice this. These returns I should probably remove, but... Steam overlay. Oh, I forgot that's a thing. No, I disabled that already because it crashed. Cyberpunk for whatever reason. So I disabled it when that happened. Well, it didn't crash it. It just made my computer completely unusable while it was open, and it didn't close. So I had to restart my computer. On stream, we love that. Okay. Well, we have a tile map. And then we want to create an entity, and we're going to make this one the computer. And we're going to create a component for the computer. Probably shouldn't be using the word computer, should be better. Okay, it is going to have a sprite, which is going to use the base image being the load image resources / comp.bump. Load that into the component info with BMP format, and then make it visible. we are also going to make it... Let me see if I remember all the things that I need to include for it. I know a collision with layer collision type static. It needs to have a transform. And this transform is going to have its position, location actually, set to a vector to 5 by 1. And its size is going to be the same as the tiles that you need to see that. 2 by 2. So as to take up the same amount. Is that it? I believe that's it. Transform or renderable. Damn it. With a layer objects. Hey, we have a mini computer. It's too small and... Oh yeah, I forgot. Rendering sprites kind of partially does not work properly. So it just kind of does that. That's a limitation of the cross-platform engine. In addition to collisions, I believe, not working super well. But we have a computer. Okay. And I believe that's going to be it for today. Surprisingly worked out well. But yeah, that's going to be it because I'm going to need to figure out, first off, how to do interactions in my game engine. So like, click on this thing and use it, or to press E and use the computer. And second, what these interactions are going to look like. So, essentially design the entire like computer system. I'm gonna figure it out for next time. So on, I wonder if I'm gonna do some game development on Wednesday, maybe, since now I'm technically on holiday, starting tomorrow. Well, starting Wednesday actually. So there's a possibility that I might do some more game development. I'm gonna do the system customization, the theme stuff as well on Friday. And I might do either game development or just play more RimWorld or a mix of both on Wednesday, but I'm not deciding just yet. So we will see. For the time being, that's gonna be it. Everything that I've done so far has worked. Shockingly, I have to say. But it worked, so that's great. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. Did I have something else to do? I feel like... No, I already did the explanation on the theme thing and what I want to do with that. And I think I'm going to do it. So I'm going to do it on Friday. And I might do some game development and maybe playing some games on Wednesday. Might for both of those things. We will see. All right, thank you so much, everybody. I will